This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act, also known as the Sunshine Law, NJSA 1046. Notice of the meeting was sent to the Daily Record and the Citizen on January 3rd, 2025, and published on January 8th, 2025. Notice was also posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building and the Town of Boonton website. Can we stand for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, can I have a roll call?
Mayor Lynch,
Here.
Mr. Phelps,
Here.
Mr. Brewer,
Here.
Mr. Murray,
Here.
Mr. Kokar.
Here.
Mr. Orlowski,
Here.
Mr. Schnitzler,
Here.
Mr. Supa,
Here.
Mr. Roble,
Here.
and Mr. Zamparano.
Okay, so we're on to our board reorganization meeting. We need to swear in our reappointed members and new appointed members.
So,
Rich is reappointed and we have some only just because they're a different class now,
Okay.
Carr, Robert and Anthony.
so let's do Rich first, okay? You have two different classes. We could do them all together.
Let's do it.
All right, gentlemen.
Yeah, I like that, Rich.
Okay. With respect to your involvement in the Boonton Board, Planning Board, Land Use Board, do you swear that the efforts that you make will be full, complete efforts, that you will be everything you can to abide by the spirit of the laws of Boonton, the laws of the state of New Jersey, and the laws of the United States, and then in so doing, you will uphold those laws throughout the term of your position on the boards. Do you swear that?
I do.
You do? Everybody else?
Yes, I do.
Questions, comments, criticisms, jokes?
No,
No?
Sure.
Good luck to you all.
thank you. Very good. Okay, elections of officers. Do we have a nomination for chairman? Chair.
Make a nomination for Doug Phelps as chairman.
We have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? I can't say anything.
Ken.
One of these
You
times.
can.
And do I have nomination for vice chair?
I nominate Mr. Brewer.
I'll second that. All those in favor? Opposed? Seeing none? Congratulations, Adam.
Congratulations. Thank you both.
Okay,
It should be.
we also have our appointments of our professionals. Michael Mullen as our board attorney. Oh, gosh. Let me get all these right. Planning is topology. Alexandra Handel as board engineer. And am I missing one here? And Brianna as secretary. And the official newspaper as the Daily Record. Do we just do a
Move that the annual appointments be made as. Second.
all those in favor?
I think we need a roll call.
Oh, we need a roll call for this one. Let's do a roll call.
Yes.
Mr. Brewer,
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Kokar,
Yes.
Mr. Orlowski,
Yes.
Mr. Supa,
Yes.
Mr. Roble,
Yes.
Mr. Schnitzler,
Yes.
and Mr. Phelps.
Yes.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, we also have in front of us, everybody's gotten a copy of the annual resolution and meeting schedule.
Mhm.
Can I get a motion to approve those?
So move, Brewer. Second, Orlowski.
We'll do a roll call for this one.
Yes.
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 Mr. Kokar,
Yes.
Mr. Orlowski,
Yes.
Mr. Supa,
Yes.
Mr. Roble,
Yes.
Mr. Schnitzler,
Yeah.
and Mr. Phelps.
Yes. Okay. On to payment of bills. Fran, are all the bills in order?
Yes, they are.
I have a motion to pay the bills.
So move, Murray.
Second,
Second Brewer.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, meeting minutes. Everybody got a copy of the meeting minutes from the December 2024 meeting. Does anybody have any comments or changes? Seeing none, we'll accept the meeting minutes as presented. Correspondence, the only thing we got, everybody got a copy of was the mandatory stormwater training that everybody needs to do. So we should all make an effort to get that done.
Really?
Who came up with that?
Oh, yes, they are. You're an engineer. That's your world.
That's right. Okay, we have no resolutions, so let's move on to public hearings for application 2024-03 412 Dixon Avenue. Okay, yeah. You can sit and use the microphone or stand and use the other one, whichever you're more comfortable with. Just gotta push the little button on that so it turns green. There's a little button on that mic. If you push it, hold it down. There you go. You're on.
So I believe that the applicant was sworn in.
Technically, I'm the 200.
You are, yeah. His wife did.
Yeah. Then you can get it.
They got a notice, but Rich didn't.
So the applicant was sworn at the beginning of his testimony last meeting. But sir, could we get your full name and I'll ask you a couple of questions in order to get you sworn?
Sure. My name is Brian Murphy. I'm the owner of Brian Murphy Architect, located at 179 Cahill Cross Road in West Milford, New Jersey, Suite 202. I'm a registered architect in the state of New York and New Jersey and have a bachelor's of architecture from the New Jersey Institute of Technology. I've appeared in front of dozens of boards across New Jersey and New York.
Okay. And is your license that you just described, is it in full force and effect?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so could you raise your right hand? Do you swear that the testimony you will offer to this board, as well as any questions on the part of the board's professionals or any member of the public, you will endeavor to answer them to the best of your ability and truthfully?
I do.
Thank you.
Should I carry this with me? or-
No, if you need to, there's a
Oh,
mic up there if you want to stand
You
up.
feel comfortable.
There you go.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So, the property in question, I'm sure you're aware, but I'll go through it anyhow. It's number 412 Dixon Ave, located in the R1A zone. And we have our zoning map here that shows the location, an area map that gives you a broader view, and then the 200-foot radius map that shows you exactly where the house is. We have a minimum lot area of 1,250 square feet. This property is actually 9,278.3 square feet, so it is a little bit of an undersized lot. The maximum depth for the R1A zone is 125, and it should be minimum depth is 125. I apologize. And this property is 92.72 feet deep, so we're shallow in the depth. The minimum street right-of-way, 60 feet wide is required. We have 100 feet, so we're actually wider than the minimum by quite a bit. And these are existing non-conforming situations. And the front yard setback is intended to be 35 feet. Existing is 25 feet and proposed is 25 feet. So we're not changing anything in the front yard setback. And then coming to our first variance, we have the rear yard setback is required 35 feet, existing 37.1, and proposed 19.1. And then the side yard setback required is 15 feet, existing is 31.5, and proposed is 10.5. One of the things that I like to point out, you can see the existing house here in the middle and the proposed addition off to the right-hand side. And we pushed that addition back to allow the front of the house to stand proud and give some space for parking in the driveway. When I was looking through the master plan for the town of Boonton, there was actually a picture. Where did it go? My hands are so dry. There it is. So on page 34, under land use, one of the things it says is one purpose of the municipal land use law is to promote a desirable visual environment through creative development techniques and good civic design and arrangement. They actually show a picture of a house not too different from this house. It does have a gable roof versus the hip, but it has the front porch and the nice fancy trims and everything. And then they did an addition on the side and they pushed it back so that the front of the house could stand proud and really be the focal point. And that's the same thing that we're doing here. In this two-dimensional view, it may not show, but you can see in the plan on the site plan how it's pushed back. So the main house, the front porch and everything, that will stand proud, and the addition, it will be pushed back. And with the hip roof, it'll also have a gentle slope going away, and that will make it feel a little bit smaller also, to keep the aesthetic and the streetscape. And we also added a lot of the same trims and the rafter tails and everything to emulate the existing home. And then moving on to the height, we have 36 feet is allowed, 23'6" is existing, 26'5" is proposed, and 2.5 stories is allowed. We have 2 stories existing and 2 stories proposed. The minimum floor area is 1,200 square feet. We have 1414 existing and 2334 proposed. Maximum building coverage, 1515 is allowed, 1,049.4 is existing, and 1,730.4 is proposed. So that's our third variance. We have the rear, the side, and then that coverage. And then our last variance is the lot coverage, 3,030 square feet, 3,030 square feet is allowed, 2,958.2 is existing, and 3,691.8 is proposed. And then the residential floor area, 2,651 is allowed, 1,414 is existing, and 2,334 is proposed. So that's within the proper guidelines. And maximum off-street parking, 2 is required, 2 are existing, and we're proposing 4. So we'll have the deeper driveway, we'll have more parking to keep cars off of the street. Moving to sheet A2. My hands are so cold and dry, I can't grip the paper. On the left-hand side, we have the existing basement plan. There's a small finished basement family area and an unfinished mechanical room space. On the front, we have the covered porch. You come in a foyer, and there's a staircase to the basement and to the second floor. We have a dining room and a kitchen. In the back, there's a powder room, a half bath that's combined with a laundry room. This is no longer allowed in the code. Laundry rooms and bathrooms have to be separated now. It's also not ideal, you know, if you have guests over and they have to use the bathroom, they're going into your laundry room to use the bathroom. It's just not an ideal situation. And on the first floor, there's no shower or tub or anything like that. And then off to the left, we have the living room. On the second floor, when you come up the stairs, there's a hallway. The master bedroom is straight ahead. And then there are two other small bedrooms and one bathroom in the far rear corner. Mr. Morvillo just informed me, can I say it? Mr. Morvillo just informed me that they are having twins. So they're going to need a little bit more space and probably bathroom room. I have two daughters, so if you have two daughters, you're going to need more bathroom room. Uh, Moving to sheet A3, we have the proposed first floor and second floor. So the front porch remains the same. The foyer and stairs, living room, dining room, and kitchen remain the same. We're going to remove the laundry from the bathroom and make space to have a shower on this level. And then we have a small side porch and a mudroom entrance. And in the back, we'll have a laundry room with a counter and sink for folding clothes, washer and dryer, and a window out the side. And then we have a new two-car garage with an extra little storage space behind the laundry room. And our porch is going out 4'6", and the garage is 21 feet. On the second floor, we're taking the small bedroom that's adjacent to the staircase, and we're going to turn that into a study or an office and create a hallway that leads to the new addition. We'll have a nicer sized bedroom to replace the bedroom that's being lost here with a good walk-in closet, and then a master bedroom with a walk-in closet and a master bathroom. The bathroom will have a double vanity, a compartmentalized toilet, a tub and a shower, and a linen closet. Okay. So as I mentioned before, the existing house is standing proud of the addition. We're keeping everything, the porch and the whole look that's there, and we're emulating that look in the new addition. We have our covered porch and our mudroom entry. It's really not wide enough for two regular car garage doors, so we're just putting one large garage door. And then we have windows on the second floor, one in that hallway and then in the bedrooms. And then in the back, we have a window in the master bath and in the closet and a window in the garage. And from our right-hand side, you can see that covered porch. Another reason that we were holding the garage back is these two windows are the only windows in the dining room space. So if we pull this forward, we'll lose those windows and the dining room won't have any windows. The closest window would be on the other side of the living room or on the other side of the kitchen. And these windows are flanking the bed wall on the master, a window in the garage, and one in that closet. From the rear yard, we have a double door going into the garage. I'm sorry, this is the left-hand side. Double door going out to the side. This is the existing house, and this is the living room space here and the front porch. And this window is in the master bath and a window in the added new bedroom. A few other notes that I have from reviewing the Town of Boonton Master Plan. On page 33, it says, Boonton Town does not have a lot of vacant land available for new development. Properties already developed and currently vacant or underutilized are now being looked at for redevelopment. So this is an area where we're taking an existing house that is really, the floor plans are old and outdated, that don't meet the needs of the people today. And we're upgrading it. We're adding a garage. There's another in the planner's report. They mentioned section 300-80, where it says no building permit shall be issued or granted for 1 or 2 family residents without adequate space for garage or carport and driveway. So this is a house that has no garage at all currently, and we're bringing it up to, you know, the proper standard and meeting that criteria by adding this garage. Going back to the site plan. So we have 10.5 feet on the side where the garage is being added, where 15 feet is required. That's 4.5 feet that we're encroaching into that setback. On the opposite side, we have 31.6 feet. So together, we actually have 42.1 between the two. If you had 15 and 15, that would equal 30. So combined, we're very high on side yard setback, although we are requesting to encroach on the one side. The 10.5 feet is a nice buffer from the neighbor's property. If you were 5 feet or less, that would trigger the need for something like a firewall, but we're more than double that requirement. So there's no safety issue with having 10.5 feet as your setback to the garage. It's a fine buffer. As we mentioned before, the rear yard, 19.1 feet, we're requesting where the rear is 35 feet. If we push this forward, though, then like we said, we won't be able to get those windows. And one of our real hardships or deficiencies here, not only in the lot size, is in the lot depth, where the required lot depth is 125 feet, and we only have 92.72. So we're, you know, over 30 feet deficient in that depth. If we had that depth, and if we had the extra area of the 12,500 that we need, then there's a good chance that we wouldn't be here requesting those variances. This is another interesting thing that I found in the Boonton town of Boonton master plan, is there was a whole section talking about millennials, and Victor and his wife, Mr. Morlow and his wife, are both millennials, and it talks about they, you know, where they're going to live and how when they're younger they like to live in apartments, but as they age they're going to move into single family homes, and that the town wants to provide more single-family dwelling. And this is a perfect example of this, where as your family grows, you need to expand the house and bring the house up to today's current standards to meet that and to retain those millennials, which is something that the master plan sounds like it wants to do. That's the presentation. Are there any questions?
Sure. Let me open it to the board members for any questions.
On the neighboring property where you are asking for the side variance, how close is the other house? And they've been noticed, right? So if they had an issue, they would be here.
I don't know the exact distance, but looking at the area map, it's a fairly significant distance. This was taken from Google, so I'm not 100% sure how accurate it is, but they're not close. You can see many other clusters on other streets where the houses are very close together. This particular section of Dixon Ave, the houses are very far spread apart.
And currently, how many parking spaces do you have off street?
2.
2. So you're doubling it.
Yes.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you for your presentation. I can understand the desirability of adding the garage and expanding the space, and with more kids on the way, as you mentioned, that's an important thing. Where my concern comes in, there are existing nonconformities, and essentially my interpretation of lot coverage and building coverage is to control the scale of development. So when you have existing nonconformities that encroach on setbacks, and then you are exacerbating the size of the structure by exceeding the allowable building coverage and the lot coverage, my concern is the scale of the development may exceed what the neighborhood envisions, as described in the zoning ordinance. So while a two-car garage and a separate bathroom is desirable, a separate toilet is desirable, is it needed? So in my review of the application as presented, my concern comes in, was any consideration given to scaling down? Yes, we might want a garage and additional space, but do we need a garage that large and a second floor that large? Was any consideration given to making a smaller addition?
We actually started out larger than this and then cut it back. The original plan had two-car garage and, two separate doors, and it was closer to the property line. I believe where it's 21 and change now, we had it at 24. And my reason for that was to get the two-car garage, the separate garages. And also, we like to design with value engineering. So a number like 24, it falls on the 4-foot, 8-foot increments, and all your block lines up, all your studs line up and everything like that. But in this case, we decided that we didn't need to be 24 feet. But in order to get the one double door there, cutting it down to, I think it's 21'4", that was pretty much as tight as we could go and get that to work. We do have the hardship of the undersized lot, so it's a condition that, we're requesting the variances because we don't have the lot size that is part of the criteria for the R1A zone. And like I mentioned, the streetscape and the neighborhood have been taken into consideration by pushing it back and using the hip roof. So this section, again, black and white, two-dimensional view, it looks like it's straight across, but really this is about 12 feet pushed further back. And then this roof line, that gutter line, continues to go further back and get smaller. So it's not going to look as large in real life in a perspective view from the streetscape than it looks in two-dimensional view right here.
Is the lot, in terms of its size, non-conforming in the zone?
Yes, it's
By how much?
undersized. The lot is 9,278.3.
Okay.
Where 12,500 is required. So
Okay.
it's more than 3,000, almost a third or a quarter undersized.
Okay. So from a planning perspective, based upon the scale of what's being proposed, do you have anything to provide us with respect to the neighborhood and how it compares to the existing structure and the frontage of the houses, light, space, air?
Yes, we are keeping the streetscape here. You can see the neighboring house is pushed back a little bit and the one on the corner is the same. So again, we're in keeping with this streetscape. Throughout the neighborhood, you can see clusters that are a lot tighter together. So the space that we have between the neighbors on the left, right, and behind, and there's a lot of open space in the middle of this block. So we're really not congesting this area of the street even close to what you see on, say, Dawson Ave or on Holmes. These houses are extremely close together. And on the other side of the block on Sherman, everything is a lot closer together. We're just not even coming close to the scale of density that the rest of the neighborhood has. We're very lucky that the neighboring houses are far away, and where 60-foot width is what's the minimum required, we actually have 100 feet in width. So that is helping us out. Unfortunately, the existing house is smack dab in the middle of the property. Had it been shaded to the side a little bit, that 4.5 feet, on the side, we wouldn't need it. But it's just the location of that existing house and how it is.
So is it your testimony that the proposed development and the intensity of it would be consistent with the existing neighborhood and it wouldn't be greater than?
Correct, yes. Yes, sir.
So, see, you have the asphalt driveway. Was there any consideration in putting like pervious pavers to sort of maybe cut down on the lot coverage, variance that you're requesting? Maybe,
Would you be amendable to pavers? We could do pavers if that was a stipulation, for sure.
I was just asking if that was considered, but I don't know. Maybe throw it out there. But one other thing, is there, I guess, a planned basement for the extension?
No, it's a garage, so it'll be a slab on grade. And that mudroom is elevated a little bit, so it'll have a small crawl space for utilities, electric and plumbing and whatnot.
That's it.
Thank you.
Just have one comment. Thanks for the presentation. But walking the neighborhood and looking at your lot and the lots around you, in my opinion, that this proposed addition would fit in nicely with the neighborhood.
Thank you. We tried to emulate the streetscape and the other houses.
Okay, seeing no more questions from the board, I'll turn it over to our professionals for any questions.
Okay. Thanks for the presentation. I'm Chris. I wrote the planning report. I'm not gonna look at you because I've been accused of not speaking into the mic, so forgive me for being rude, talking into the mic, not looking at you. You covered, I think, 3 of the variances in quite a bit of detail. I think it'd be helpful on the building coverage one. You're like 215 square feet over. Can you help like visualize on the plan, like what that 215 square feet is equivalent to? Like, can you maybe pick a 215 square foot chunk up there so the board can see the difference between permitted and what you're proposing?
Sure.
Thanks.
So 215, if I divide 200 by 10.5, that's gonna be roughly 20, right? Side yard here, we're 34. 17, so that's the middle, another 3 feet. So I would say that's about the amount right there. You can see that X.
Thanks. And then you talked a little bit about how the way the building is placed now, you're already sort of shifted to one side of the site. I'm wondering if when you were considering where to put the addition, if you considered putting it on the western side, so you didn't create the side yard setback. And if you didn't consider that, like if there was something about the site or the flow of the building that required you to put the addition on the east side where you're going to create that side yard variance.
Yes. That's mainly generated by the floor plan. And we'll look at the proposed floor plan. Okay, the kitchen is on the side where the addition is. So when you come in from the garage, when it's raining or snowy and you have your groceries, you go straight into the kitchen. We put it on the opposite side. The main windows of the living room here, we would lose all of that and it would create a funny little cavity also behind there as we brought the addition. Then you'd have to go through the living room to get to the garage. So that's less desirable for sure. And then on the second floor, we had that smallest bedroom on the side where the staircase is. So by taking that smallest bedroom and making that the hallway to access the addition, it was the most efficient way to get to the addition. That creates this little study. Otherwise, you'd have to go through the larger bedroom, cut that up to get to the addition. It wouldn't be as good of a design floor plan wise.
And that's partially because it's an older home and that's the sort of traditional layout of a home from that age that you'd find in that neighborhood.
Correct.
Okay. We talked a little bit about the neighbor on the
Sorry.
east. Yeah, keep going. Oh, I think it's
I didn't have the microphone. I'm sorry.
we talked about the neighbor on the east side a little bit, the neighbor in the back. So Old Boonton Road sort of slopes downward. Can you talk about how close the building in the rear is and any impact that the rear yard setback might have on that neighbor?
I see on our area map, there are small buildings to the back. I thought that was maybe a detached garage. Is that somebody's house? Over here,
Those are the garages between
yeah,
the neighbor behind me and the neighbor next to that.
yes. So there's no house behind you,
Backyard space.
yeah,
Undeveloped.
yeah, there's no rear yard neighbor.
And then what about the grading in the back? Your backyard's generally flat?
Very shallow slope going up to the back, but generally flat, yes.
Okay, and is there like a retaining wall at the back of the property or something like that?
Small, split stack stone wall on my side. Neighbor behind me is varies from 2.5 feet to a foot as it goes across the property.
You said one thing that jumped out about the garage. You said you couldn't fit a 2-car garage, so you have, I think you called it a large one garage door. What do you mean large? Is that like an oversized 1-car garage? Tell us about the dimensions of that garage.
We have a 16-foot door, which is a standard size for a double door. Just in terms of looking at a single car door, it looks larger because it's a double car door. So that's really all I meant by that. It's not oversized. They double garage doors start at 16 feet and then go 18 to 20. Anything beyond 20 would be a custom order, but the 16, 18, and 20 are standard. So this is actually the smallest double door garage that you would have. I was calling it large when reflecting on a normal 8 or 9 foot wide garage door.
Okay, when you say is it a 2-car garage or a 1-car garage?
It is a 2-car garage.
It's a 2-car garage.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And just in terms of like neighborhood context, like are there a lot of 2-car garages in the area? If you walk around, would that be common, uncommon?
There are a lot of 2-car garages. Yeah.
Okay.
I should also point out that we're removing an existing shed that is probably about 16 by 12, would you say, that shed? Well, so about 120 square feet or a little bit larger of a shed that's being removed. And then all of those items that are in the shed will go into the garage.
Okay.
And that's freeing up space in the backyard for, kids to play and whatnot.
You did helpfully, thank you for looking at the master plan, include some of that testimony. Can you, just for the benefit of the board and for the completeness of your testimony, can you talk a little bit about purposes of municipal land use law, purposes of zoning, and how those would be advanced if they were to grant these variances?
Yes, as I mentioned, I cited a number of areas in the master plan that I believe this property fits the criteria of. Advancing single-family homes is one of the main goals that I read about, and developing properties that are existing as opposed to developing undeveloped, raw land or something like that. Also maintaining millennials, believe it or not, it's in the master plan, and these are the types of upgrades that need to be done to old houses in order to keep people in them and make them want to be in this neighborhood and in this town. So I would definitely say that the positive criteria of approving these variances would far outweigh any negative criteria.
Okay. And as it relates to the neighbors or the surrounding area generally, are there any detriments to the public good that you could see stemming from the board granting these variances?
I don't see any detriments. Mr. Morvillo and I did talk about briefly if the engineering department or if the board wanted us to install any seepage pits or storm chambers for roof runoff. We're amendable to that. We have no problem. And that would be, something you wouldn't want, and the ordinance says that you can't allow your rainwater to go onto other people's properties, so we can handle our stormwater runoff with storm tech or any other type of infiltration device that holds water.
That sounds like a great spot for me to transition to my colleague here. Maybe I'll take it back.
Hi, thanks for the testimony. I'm the board engineer. I do have a few questions just for the site. Will there be any tree removal for the proposed development?
I don't think there are any major trees in that area.
Okay, just trimmed back, not taken down? Okay, so no other ones then?
No.
And I know you guys were talking briefly about the grading for the site, so from the stone wall, there's no grading on this, the site plan that we have. Everything drains toward your property? And then what about the side yards? How does it grade on the sides? They're pretty flat. Do they drain toward the road?
There's a very gentle pitch going towards the road, but if we were to put 2-foot contours on this, you might see one contour at best because it's that flat.
Okay. Okay, but pretty much you won't be impacting the neighbors' properties from the proposed development. Everything flows to your site and then to the roadway.
Right, correct.
And then I'm glad that you mentioned the stormwater management measures. So in my letter, we would just be requiring something for all of the impervious surface that's over the lot coverage. So lot coverage, anything that's over lot coverage would have to be stored in either dry well, the pervious pavers that were mentioned, some kind of system that's
Right.
designed.
You would give us the inches, how many inches of water,
Mhm.
and
Yeah, we
then
can give
we'll
you that.
do the calculation from there.
Yep. Are there any modifications to the existing water or sanitary systems for the site?
No.
No. Is there any proposed landscaping, maybe between your site and where you're asking for the side yard setback?
There is a crown.
Okay, just something for the board to consider.
Right now, the kids talk to each other through the fence.
Oh.
I don't know if they're not.
I think that's all my questions at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll open it to the public to any questions for this witness. Okay, seeing none. Any more discussion before I should open it to the public for their comment? I will open it to the public for any comments on this application. Yeah, absolutely, you can.
Adam Schnitzler, 434 Old Boonton Road. I live if you're looking at Victor's house to the left. Yeah, I'm kind of excited about it. I think it is just a great looking plan and I think it'll fit really well in with the neighborhood. And yeah, so I only have positive things to say about it. I'm kind of looking forward to it. Good. Yeah, I encourage that because I'm trying to get a water feature going. So my basement's too dry.
Hi, Rich Olusky, 425 Old Boonton, live around the corner. Been in the neighborhood for over 20 years. We see a pattern in this house. A couple moves in, they have children, they move out. This family is willing to expand the house to make it usable for the family. I fully support it.
Okay. Any board discussion?
I just want to confirm who could vote on the application since we have 2 excused and 2 absent. So before we do roll call, I just wanted to confirm that,
Sure.
if we can.
So
2, 3,
4,
4, 5, 6,
7, 8. We got 8 of us. We're good.
All right, thank you. Just wanted to make sure.
Okay. Do, as far as the board discussion, as far as the,
Conditions.
conditions, we have our normal conditions. Any other really come up? Besides the
No.
normal ones?
Retaining the stormwater beyond the coverage limits
Yes.
as described by the
That's one.
engineer is one.
Yeah.
And it didn't appear that further landscaping was highlighted or necessarily in the cards or a concern. I don't think there was any.
Oh.
No, I don't think,
Okay.
I looked at my notes before you asked me that question.
I have a comment.
Yes.
I kind of see the removal of the shed as a kind of an offset with the variance that need for the back. So I would be happy if there was some sort of stipulation that there won't be other structures
Yes.
along the rear property.
That's good. We'll take down the old shed and put up a new one.
Right.
So, okay. Okay, then do, anybody have a motion?
I make a motion that application number 2024-03 be approved.
Have a second?
Second.
Okay, can we have a roll call, Brianna?
Yes, Mr. Brewer,
Initially, I had some concerns and skepticism over the impact of the development, but based upon the absence of the neighbors and the testimony that was provided and the existing hardship in terms of the undersized lot, I vote yes.
Mr. Murray,
Yes.
Mr. Kokar,
Yes.
Mr. Supa,
Yes.
Mr. Roble,
Yes, I appreciate that you went through the trouble to give us a number of criteria for how you feel that it fits in. I understand that it is an undersized lot, so you're dealing with a challenge offhand. And just also, we're looking at the application as the application. This isn't directed at you. Just trying to make sure, but I think you did a nice job. So, yes.
okay. Mayor Lynch
Yes.
and Mr. Phelps.
Yes. Okay,
Good.
we're all good. Yes. You're on my dog walks track. That's my dog walk thing, so I hope I see some progress. when I walk my dog around. He likes to look, so. Okay, that's right.
That's true.
Good luck.
Okay. I think that's all we've got, though I will open it to the public for any comments on non-agenda items. Seeing none, can I have a motion to end?
Adjourned.
Adjourn, that's
So
the
moved.
word. All in favor? Aye. We're adjourned.